Katie. This is my vlog when I talk about all the things I love about sewing. Thanks for coming back to me today, guys. Just a quick video today because I have ordered some fabric, and I'm probably not going to be buying too much fabric in the next couple of months because, as you guys know, I am starting a new job in a week's time, and I want to be a bit more careful with my spending habits. So this was really the last kind of splurge before it goes a bit dry for a while in the fabric department. So this fabric, and I'll show you the parcel, has come from Luby Fabrics, who have kindly sponsored me in the past, but I've purchased this fabric myself because I am a member of her Facebook group. So I've got some bits and pieces written down next to me, so forgive me if I keep referring to my piece of paper. So on Facebook you can join the Luby Fabric page, which you can then get pre-orders and chat with other people who are using the fabric to make things up, or get inspiration for things, or ideas of things to make. And occasionally what happens is they will purchase some fabrics which aren't yet available on the website, so they're kind of like exclusive first looks, pre-orders, and they will discount that fabric by a couple of pounds a metre if you pre-order it in advance. And then if they have enough interest in these fabrics, then they come into stock. So I was in bed sort of scrolling through Facebook one night, and the selection of fabrics that had been chosen for pre-order came up on my newsfeed, and I just loved all of them, and it was just too good a bargain to miss. So I ordered myself a couple of metres of one for me and 1.5 metres of something for the kids. So go ahead, if you haven't already, to Facebook and search Luby Fabrics and just join the chat page on there, because if you're interested in pre-orders and it's sort of exclusive discounts and things, that's the place to go. You guys will know that they were kindly sponsoring a couple of my makes last year, and being one of the first sort of independent fabric suppliers to contact me when I started my channel. I'm really pleased that I'm able to support them by buying some fabric. And yeah, so I was going to open this on screen for you guys to see so you can check it out. I'm excited. I love opening fabric, it's like Christmas. So, oh my goodness. Well, first of all, there's sweets. Can't go wrong with packets of sweets. And a lovely business card in here that says thank you. And on the back of here, there is all the information for the sort of social media and bits and pieces. So that's a nice touch. It's always nice when people sort of say thank you for supporting them. Now, can you see? Oh my God! This is so good! Let's get it out the bag. So it's well wrapped up. Survived the journey by Royal Mail. Came first class. Oh my goodness, this stuff is gorgeous. So this is actually a French terry. I've not sewn with a French terry before, so I'm really excited to be working with this. Oh, and it's so soft. So beautiful. I love the colours. I think that might be upside down. Let's put it up the right way. So this kind of reminded me almost of a bit of a sort of Kath Kidson type print when I saw it on the Facebook group. And I just loved, there were a couple of colourways, but I really loved this sort of like, not really a navy blue, I'm guessing that's probably more of a royal blue colour with the pink tones of the flowers. And my husband, if you watched the last video, you see my husband bought me some pink jersey for Christmas, and I wasn't sure if pink was really my colour, but lots of people have said actually it really suits my tones. And I thought, well, with the navy as well, it's going to look so good. And I was kind of intrigued because I haven't sewn with French terry before, so I was interested to find out what the difference between that and a normal jersey is. And I can see it's got sort of a loopy back to it. It's so soft. And I bought 2 meters of this because I really wanted to give myself the opportunity to make sure I could make whatever I wanted. So this could be a dress, it could be a top and a skirt, it could be whatever I decide really, but they've got such a good eye for really fabulous prints, and I just love this fabric. Yeah, so let me just tell you how much that cost. Obviously, because I pre-ordered it before it was available, and in fact I'm not sure if it's actually available on their website just yet, but Laurel, who runs the business, is fantastic at getting back to people with emails and information. So I'm thinking that fabric, the French Terry, is usually £14 a metre, but because I pre-ordered it, I got that fabric for £10.60 a metre, which is a really good saving. And yeah, I'm just blown away by the quality of that. That's great. So the next piece of fabric is for the kids, and this is so much fun. Look at the toucans and flamingos. I mean, toucans, flamingos and cactus all on one bit of fabric. I mean, you have to bear with me because I haven't seen this yet either, obviously. I am loving that. That's a proper summer print. So I've got 1.5 meters of this. And because it was on pre-order, obviously I could splurge and get slightly more. Normally with the kids stuff, I usually go for 1 meter of fabric because you can get a decent size sort of raglan t-shirt or a skirt, or you know, out of 1 meter usually with small children. But because it was heavily discounted, I chose to get 1.5 meters, which means I can make both the girls something matching. Or I mean, my son could wear this as a t-shirt in the summer. I mean, that's kind of cool, huh? Yeah, I love that. And it's really soft. This is jersey, so let me see if it's got... Doesn't say the composition, but I'm pretty sure on the website, which I'm obviously going to put all the details in the drop down box below of the website address and all that kind of stuff, so you guys can go along and have a look. So this jersey is usually £12 a metre, and I paid £9.90 because I pre-ordered it. So you can see she's really got a good thing going on there. So I just wanted to support somebody that supported me by sponsoring me, and I've really fancied buying myself some new fabric, so I'm really pleased with that. Yeah, excellent. Super pleased with this one. Can't wait to sew this one up into something. Kind of matches my lovely flowers behind. These were given to me by my work colleagues when they said goodbye, which was really emotional after 16 years. They really made a lovely fuss, and I had a banner and some lovely nibbles and fake fizz, because obviously we were all at work in the hospital. So yeah, it's been an emotional couple of weeks really, and Nan's funeral is coming up. So I've really been throwing myself into the sewing, and I promise not to buy any more fabric. Yeah. So if you like those fabrics, Lubidoo Fabrics are offering a discount on UK postage, so you can get free postage, which is worth the value of about £3, I think, on top of your order. So what you need to do is add the discount code SewPrettyKitty, and I'll pop it on the title bar here and also in the drop down box below. If you want to go ahead and purchase any fabrics, you can get free postage. So that's a really nice little added extra with my fabric delivery today. So yeah, I can share the love. So I'll just talk briefly about what I'm wearing today. So if you guys have been following me on Instagram, you'll have seen I've been using this Burda pattern, which is Burda 6838. It's a mock wrap top, kind of, I'm not sure what you'd call this sort of neckline, drapey, cowly kind of neckline, not really a cowl, but you know, I have been watching The Fall with Gillian Anderson. I don't know if you guys have seen that, and the Anderson blouse from Sew Over It was named after Gillian Anderson in this programme, and she's got the most incredible wardrobe, so I get completely distracted by her clothes when I'm watching it. And I really wanted, she wears a lot of sort of crossover tops and they look really smart, and I'm sort of starting to piece together a bit more of a work appropriate wardrobe in case my new role doesn't require me to wear a uniform. So I thought this would be ideal to wear with some smart trousers and things. So I'm going to just pop and get my toile for you to have a look at so I can explain the changes that I made to the pattern. So hang on one moment and I'll be back. So I'm back with my toile. So I really wanted to check this pattern for fit and any issues, and I'm so glad I did not cut into my expensive fabric, because I have to say I am not crash hot keen on this pattern. There were things about it that really were yeah, unusual. I mean, it's a Burda pattern. I love Burda styling. They're fashionable, they seem a bit younger, a bit more sort of yeah, I love the way that they pattern envelopes are usually so much more modern than a lot of the other big 4 or big 6 or however many there are big pattern companies now. But the construction, the instructions, yeah, what can I say? It wasn't my favourite. It was actually quite frustrating. So this fabric I got, if you hop back, you'll see that I organised an event with Lucy from Made by Lucy. I'll put her details in the drop down box. She runs an independent sewing school and online sewing classes and bits and pieces. And she and I together organised Sew Swap It, which was an event for like-minded people to come to a local sort of empty shop with all their bits and pieces of fabric and notions that they didn't want or need anymore, to swap with other people. So we had a great day. So if you haven't seen that video, pop back and have a look. But I picked up a whole bolt pretty much. I mean, I have no idea how much fabric is on the bolt, but there's at least a few meters, 3 or 4 perhaps. And it's this kind of like cotton jersey with a stripe on it. So it was, I swapped it for something that I'd taken in. So it's essentially free fabric, which is why I didn't mind cutting into it for a toile. And I thought, well, if, you know, I love this fabric anyway, so if it turns out to be a wearable toile, then that would be perfect. As it is, it's not really, I don't think. So I made version B, which is the slightly shorter one on the pattern packet. There's a small difference between the length here on both versions. So I went for the shorter one because the light's been weird today, it's sunny outside. I went for the shorter version because I'm quite short. I'm about 5'4", but I've got quite a long body, and I wasn't sure whether the longer one would be too long, and I didn't want to waste fabric, so I went for the shorter one. I did measure first just to see, and then I added probably about, I think, 1.5 inches to the shorter pattern piece, just to make sure. So it was somewhere in between both of those patterns, so about halfway between the two. And first of all, I obviously cut the pieces out. It was all going well. The instructions are a bit vague, so if you haven't sewn much before, they're not really sort of beginner friendly. You have to have an idea of construction techniques, because they're not the most sort of comprehensive of instructions. So there was a bit of head scratching. The pattern pieces are unusual shapes. I've never made anything wrap before, so if I hold it up for you, you'll see that on this version, it's probably easier if I insert a picture of Agatha, my dressmaking form, wearing it, because then you'll be able to see a bit better what I'm talking about. So I'll insert a picture of it here. So on a construction note, the 2 front pieces you fold over, so it's got its own facing. So you can see here, it's kind of difficult to tell, but this is the raw edge of the fabric, and there's a huge piece that sort of folds in on itself. So at the front here, on this version, you can see that it's faced with its own fabric, so that when you actually sort of put it on and arrange it, you don't have any raw edges that are showing. But that in itself is quite tricky to do with jerseys, so that caused me a few problems. I pinned it in place, I ironed it in place, but it's quite a floppy fabric, so it kept moving around, and it's a bit like kind of trying to construct a puzzle. Yeah, so that was kind of tricky. Then at the bottom here, as you can see, you've got, it's trapped inside the seam. So one side is constructed very differently to the other. So this side is trapped into the side seam, whereas this side, it tells you to cut like a sort of notch out of the fabric, and then just catch the notch in the side seam. Well, what happened to me is I did that, I followed the instructions duly, and you can see there's actually a little hole because, I mean, you've cut into the fabric. So the bottom of that facing is trapped in the bottom seam. It's kind of difficult to show you here, but there's this piece here, and I don't know whether I just didn't go far enough with the sewing and quite catch it in, but I didn't like how that had turned out. And also I didn't like the way that the bottom of the garment was constructed. So the back piece was longer than the front piece. The front pieces were all encased in one, so they were sort of finished. And then the back piece you turned up and just sort of hemmed it independently. So you were only hemming the back piece and not the front piece. So I've ended up here with like, where it doesn't quite meet up properly. By this point in the process, I was really starting to get a bit frustrated and think I'm actually just going to ditch this top, because I don't know why they're doing it this way. The other thing, the pattern suggests that you set the sleeves in like a regular woven sleeve. I mean, anybody that's constructed more than a couple of jersey garments will know that it's really easy to put a sleeve in on the flat on jersey because it's stretchy. So the idea of gathering the sleeve head and setting the sleeve in like you would on a woven, I was just like, that's just asking for trouble, gathering jersey, and you know, wasn't keen on that idea either. So, but I did it. I did as I was told. So the neck piece as well, don't like how, I don't sound a bit negative about this pattern, but I don't like the way the neck was constructed here. So it tells you to fold the back collar piece over, which I did do, and then hand stitch, sort of catch stitch it at the back here. So you can see on the inside it's kind of neat, but anybody that's ever sort of hand stitched jersey, I mean, it just doesn't look neat. Even though I used sort of nice little neat stitches and was really careful. I mean, I could have used a different colour thread, maybe a sort of like more paler grey, and maybe it wouldn't have been so noticeable. But yeah, I did not like the way that turned out, even though when you're wearing it, it actually folds back on itself so you can't see it. I kind of like to make a good job when I sew clothes, and I want them to be finished professionally. And yeah, I wasn't keen on that. So literally then I put it on and it's just not the right length. It's kind of too short, hits me right at the wrong place. So disaster. I put it to one side and just thought, I'll have a breather for a couple of days and maybe I will revisit it. And the changes I made to the pattern were, the second time round I tacked everything down to make sure that this facing piece folded properly. I ironed it properly. I tacked it using hand stitches to make sure that it didn't move around. I also didn't want to do the original way of encasing one side in the seam and the other side leaving that funny sort of notchy gap and the potential for the jersey to sort of unravel and pull apart and, you know, just look really messy. So I constructed it so that both sides got caught in that side seam, which has worked out okay. I put the sleeves in on the flat, and that was like 100 times easier than trying to gather them and set them in. And when I constructed this neckband, I did it all in one. So I sewed the whole thing together so it's overlocked on the inside rather than turning it in and hand stitching it. So all in all, I made quite a lot of adjustments to this pattern. I also lengthened it by, no, I didn't lengthen it, I added a waistband. So I'll stand up so you can see. I've added a waistband to the bottom to make it nice and long, and actually I think it balances the top out a lot better to have a waistband on the bottom there, because you've got so much fabric up round here, which, you know, I'm not sure if I'm keen on. I think I will wear it. You can see where I've trapped it into the side seam here. I've actually taken it quite a lot higher. I think on the previous one it's down here somewhere that the piece comes out, and I've taken it up to the same on both sides, so that there's obviously an inside piece that's trapped at the same level inside here. So I think I preferred that. The problem is, of course, because there's no extra fabric this side, this seam does tend to twist forward slightly, but I mean it's not noticeable, it's only me that would notice that. The sleeves I've finished with a twin needle, just to make sure it's nice and neat, and overlock the edge like I normally do on the inside. And yeah, like I said, the back of the neck, I'll see if you can see, is all encased, so there is no, I mean it's all overlocked on the inside. Whew. So yeah, my advice would be, if you're an experienced sewist and you want a challenge, have a go at making this pattern. If you're a beginner, I would avoid it like the plague, because there's no way I could have made this top a few years ago. I would have just been like, I have no idea what I'm doing. And luckily, because I got a bit of experience, I could change the construction and the order of construction in order to make it how I wanted it. But yeah, like I said, I've fallen out of love with this pattern now. It caused me so many headaches. I'm afraid there will not be another one of these unless I leave it long enough that I forget how much trouble it caused me, and maybe I'll make another one, because I do kind of like the outcome. It looks smart. It looks particularly nice with a pair of black trousers. And I'm going to come back to you with my January makes, so there's quite a few other things to show you, but I just wanted to say hi today, open my parcel in front of you guys so you could see that lovely fabric, and yeah, talk about this top. So that's it for today. I hope you've enjoyed my video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up and press the subscribe button so you can keep up with the next video, when I'm going to be back showing you all the things I made in the month of January. So thanks very much for watching. Bye!